Right, so we're going to chop here these ingredients and get these ready to go into the pan. In the pan I've got some oil. You could use rapeseed, olive oil. It's being heated up as we do the chopping here. So we're going to chop an onion first, and so we just need to take the top off. Immediately I have a look at that to see if that's bad going through the onion. We're going to take the bottom off. Keep yourself nice and tidy as you go. We're making a diagonal cut through the onion. There is method in that madness. You see, it's just giving me something to peel. So here we go. Here's this little bit of a handhold here. Come off with that diagonal cut. In my line of work, it's all about speed. So those things are ready. Now here we're doing 2 cloves of garlic for this. So I'm just going to cut down the end, and using the knife I'm going to peel the garlic off and hold the peel with the knife. You can do that twice, and then basically you're peeling the clove off the skin that you're holding down on the board. When you're learning anything, obviously it's a new skill. I learned this because I'm not a big fan of puree, so I used to have to do, well, you know, 100 or so, and I wanted proper garlic flavour. I'm just aware on my right I can just smell the oil, and I think what we'll do is we'll get these in the pan. So a Nepalese dal is made with red lentils, and so from just watching what I'm doing here, I'm cutting, and you see how that there is still all joined. That's the way to do that. So don't chop off that final rooty bit if you can avoid it. If you do, it doesn't really matter, but it just makes life a bit easier if that's still in place. Anyway, to go back to, lentils are quite small, so in your mouth you don't want big bits of onion. So I'm preparing this onion. I call this a dice chop in my recipe writing, the recipes that you're downloading and cooking against. I call this a dice chop. This is a bit of a shorthand. So, you know, sometimes onion bits slide all over each other like this one is. I think you just need to be aware that you can easily chop your fingers off, so your knuckles are in the way of that happening. And I can really smell that oil. That's good. That's just going to go in. And when you get to the end of that, just sort of chop your way around it. You're an intelligent person, you'll figure out how best to do this. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure you've got small pieces in the mouth. So that's now in there. We've got this big jouster here, so let's just chop him up. And with the garlic, I just want to have some slices. If your cloves are so big that the slices seem a bit big, just chop them up a bit. But I don't want to grate. Always thinking texture in vegan cuisine, so everything isn't a mush. When I went vegan, I thought I was just going to eat mush forever. Vegetable chili, I think, you know, there's a vegetable chili recipe coming up, there's my one, but really I think we've all had enough of vegetable chili in restaurants, certainly. Anyway, so here we go, this is now going to go in. A little bit of a noise, which is an encouraging sound. And throw some salt in there, stir that around, stir it or just toss it. I just generally toss things because it's just a bit easier and it's a bit quicker. So whilst that's cooking, we're going to prepare a ginger. So there's my thumb. We'll just break that off, the stuff we're not using. So the technique, thank you Mike for showing me this whole teaspoon thing going on. So we're going to just peel the ginger with this teaspoon. And my friend Mike taught me this. He'd been taught this in a cookery course, so it pays to learn, I think, and it's just a bit easier and a bit sort of safer on the hands to use a teaspoon. I mean, who would have thought it? Now these knobbly bits, you don't really want to waste them. Well, I don't want to waste them. So just glancing at these onions, the salt goes in to stop the burn. Garlic and onion I cook together because I don't really see why I should be cooking separately if it's on a low heat. You can eat the peel, nothing wrong with that at all. And so I don't get too finicky about having a bit of peel. I mean, some people now will be saying, Julia, put that tiny bit of ginger into the bin. Well, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to use it. You know, it's travelled a long way, probably from China, so I'm just going to use them. Okay, so we're going to now just grate that into this. So we're seeing some colour coming on. I've got a dirty left hand, but this right hand's clean. I'm liking that. I'm liking that I can see this becoming translucent and there's some colour on everything. And yeah, that's looking good. So we're now going to just bring in this grater. I lost this handle ages ago, but do I care? No. I'm not just going to keep buying things. So here we go. We're just going to grate. Oh, that's dropped that in, but never mind. Here we go. Ah, now, so lovely, lovely smell coming off. I kind of a grate sort of with the fibres because it's a bit easier. I don't find ginger the easiest product to work with because it can get a bit hairy, quite literally hairy. Now what I'm just starting to smell is that this pan needs to just go down a little bit. I can smell it's just burning. So never be afraid to just lift something off, you know. So that's in. I'm going to use the peeler spoon to get that in there. And then we're just going to get that cooking and caramelising. I've noticed, I don't really know, but I think there are like sugars in the ginger, well, obviously in the onion. Oh, a bit jumped out onto my foot there. Yeah, so everything starts caramelising really nicely. So we're just going to let that cook a little bit more. I'm just going to turn him down a little bit. And I'm going to get ready the spices to go in and cook, but only when this is properly caramelised.